Now complex views. I think in this table, in this environment, we have created. Yes. So select star from V10. So yesterday we have created this V10 view. The V10 view will have only the rows working for department number 10. Now when I want to look at those data, I just write select star from V10 instead of writing always the where condition, isn't it? So Dilavar. So view, design the view as per the requirement so that whenever you want to look at your data, just write select star from the view name rather than writing a big select statement. Okay?
Yeah, correct.
Complex views. When views are created using multiple base tables. When views are created using multiple base tables, it is called as a complex view. Example. Create if you observe, this is something like a equijoin query, isn't it? Selecting the data from multiple columns. If you create a view,
Yeah.
so this view is let's first create it. Response, you can see the view has been created. Once the view has been created, when you write select star from V2, so you can see employee number, employee name, salary, department number. The view is fetching the data from employee table, and couple of columns it is fetching the data from department table. When view fetches the data from multiple tables, those kind of views are called as complex views.
Complex.
Okay, complex views. I'll give you one more example.
Why they have
My mute man. The man you are mute, I think.
Yeah, Sunil.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed on the query, on each row they have aliases. This is
Hello?
required. Yeah.
Yeah, please
Can
tell
you
me.
hear me?
No, yes,
Yeah,
I can hear you now clearly.
Yeah, I noticed that while creating the view, there is some aliases on each rows. These are required, mandatory.
Yes, I mean this helps in improving the performance. Okay, let's say if you don't use table aliases. Okay, in that case, what you'll have, this helps in, what is the advantage of table aliases? Table alias helps in improving decreasing the length of the query, and at the same time the performance is increased, isn't it? This we have learned it when you're learning about the concept of joins, isn't it?
Yes.
So whenever you are writing a join query, the standard what you need to follow is that every column should be prefixed with table alias, and table alias should be there for every join query. This is the standard what we follow when you're writing a join query. Using that standards, we create a view.
Okay.
Okay.
Sunil, one question.
Yes.
Here we are supposing that employee department, all these are in one single schema. Okay, if you are
Yes.
just fetching from AP schema and AR schema, then
Okay.
how will it be in that scenario?
In that scenario, so coming to Oracle applications, okay. Let's say your point is here we have two tables. One is employee table, the other one is a department table. Assume that employee table is available in AP schema and department table is available in AR schema.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point is we create the views based on an apps schema. There's in Oracle applications we have concept of apps schema. Apps schema is having access to both all the tables of AP module as well as AR module. So we create a view on apps schema. So when I explain about the database structure of Oracle apps, then your doubt will be clear. Okay. So
okay, fine.
views can be created on multiple tables, and multiple tables can be available in 2 different schemas. Okay. But still the views will be created in Oracle applications on the apps schema, because apps schema is collection of synonyms. I'll tell you when you're learning about the database structure. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now look at this. Create view 3 as select employee number, employee name, salary from the employee. Dilaver. This view V3, when I create it, when I write select star from V3, it will have only 3 columns from the employee table, hasn't it? Am I right? 4th column, what I write is salary multiplied by 12.
Yeah.
Yes,
fine.
we know that we can perform arithmetic operations. In that case, when you write select star from V3, you will have employee number, employee name, salary, as well as annual salaries.
Yeah.
Annual salaries. So 4th column. Okay, so views can be created using this kind of arithmetic operations. Okay, and when you are performing this arithmetic operations, you need to have a column alias for this particular column. The column alias I want to provide it as annual underscore salary. Try to understand. Output, view created, select star from V3. As mentioned in the query, select V3 will have 4 columns: employee number, name, salary, as well as annual salaries. If 5,000, if 3,000 is a monthly salary, 3,000 multiplied by 12, it is 36,000. And the column alias which you have used in the query, this column alias becomes the column heading of the view. It will become the column heading of the view. Okay. Now, V3 is an example of complex view. V3 is an example of a complex view. So as per the definition, as we know that when views are created using one base table, it is simple view. When views are created using multiple base tables, it is called as a complex view. But here it is on single base table only. But still this is called a complex view because this view is created based on arithmetic operations. A views are when the views are called as complex view in 2 cases. Case 1, when these views are created using multiple base tables, it is called complex view. When views are created using arithmetic operations or functions or group by clause, in that case also it is called as a complex view. So V3 is an example of a complex view. And very important point, we cannot perform
update
DML operations, insert, update and delete operations on complex views. Okay, we cannot perform. So you cannot insert into V2 because it is a complex view. At the same time, you cannot insert into V3. Okay, let's say if I want to insert into V3, V3 is having, let's try to understand. Insert into V3 values, employee number, let's say 1212, employee name, let's say AAA, salary should be 1000, annual salary, if it is 1000, it should be 12,000, isn't it, Jamal?
Yeah.
When we know that when you insert a row into the table, when you insert a row into the view, the row should be inserted into the base table. We know that concept because finally rows are finally stored into the base tables. So think from the base table point of view, 1212 will be stored in employee number in the base table. This value will be stored in employee name of the base table. 1000 will be stored in the salary of the base table. 12,000, is there any mapping column in the base table? No, there is no mapping. So this kind of insert commands will give you error. Virtual column cannot be created. So we cannot perform DML operations on complex view. We can perform only DML operations on simple views. We cannot perform DML operations on complex view. Am I clear? I'll give you one more example of a complex view.
But without the 4th rows, will it enter? Will it allow? Can you go back to the third? Here, if you remove, what is that insert?
If we remove?
The last command you
Insert
have
query.
yeah. Yeah, if you remove 1000, 12,000, will it accept?
Not enough values. V3 is having
Okay,
four columns. It expects 4 values.
okay, okay,
But when you pass the value, there is no mapping column where the 12,000 should be stored in the base table. So there is no mapping column. So that's why you get an error. Okay.
okay.
Select department number, sum of salary from employee table, group by department number. And for this department, the sum of salary, there should be column alias. Whenever you're using functions, there should be column alias. Select staff from V4. First, I create the view.
Sunil?
View created. When you write select staff from V4, you can see here Dilawar V4 is having department number and the corresponding sum of salaries. Now, can I insert a row into V4, Dilawar? Insert into V4 values department number 50 and sum of salary something like 10,000. Do you think is it possible, Dilawar? Can we insert a row into V4?
No, it cannot be.
You cannot, because it is a complex view. You cannot insert a record. This kind of insert statements cannot be allowed on a complex view. V4 is an example of complex view. Not only arithmetic operations, if you are using some functions or if you are using a group by clause, those kind of views are also called as complex views. And as we all know, that DML operations are not allowed on a complex view.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Sunil,
Dilawar, yes.
yeah. Can we create one V5 view without giving the alias? How system will throw the
You're talking about complex view.
yeah, complex view without giving the alias.
Okay, look here.
Let's see.
Forget about this create view clause. Just write a select statement first. You don't want to use table alias. Am I right? So if you don't write table alias here, we should write where emp dot department number equal to dpt dot department number. Okay. Now here, when you are displaying the common column, this query will give you an ambiguity error. I hope you remember.
Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
Because the recorder
How to
is
resolve
available in both the
How to
tables.
resolve this ambiguity?
We have to give the alias on that each
Column.
column.
No. First time column ambiguously defined. So we have learned that whenever you want to display the common column, there will be ambiguity problem. So to resolve the ambiguity, we need to prefix table name dot column name. Now this query will work.
Yeah.
Okay. Using this query, you want to create a view.
No, not this one. I was saying that the previous V4 you have created, no?
V4.
In that you have. This is fine. This is okay because a record exists in both the tables. That's the reason system doesn't understand which one to be taken up. That's the reason it says completely.
Column. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But here in this V4, if you can make it V5 and remove this alias, I mean
Sum underscore salary. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll come back. So I thought your query was related to the previous example. Now look at this. Look at this. I'm independently running the select statement.
Yeah.
Okay, column alias I should remove. Department number. When you don't give column alias, whatever the calculation you have used it in the query, the same calculation will be displayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. Fine.
This department number is straightforward column from the employee table, and the sum of salary is not the column. Actually, this is a function applied on a column, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
correct.
when you write create view v5, okay, as lover, then your query is equal. Now you get the output. Name must name this expression with column alias. Should compulsory have a column alias star pointer pointing to sum of salary, because when you're creating a view should have column names. Okay.
Yeah.
So this by default department number, there is no problem because it is a straightforward column from the base table. It carries the same column name present in the base table. Coming to this particular column, it is not straightforwardly we are fetching it from the base table. You're calculating it, isn't it? For these kind of calculated columns, it is mandatory that you should have a column alias. Okay. For example, column alias, if you write it as Dilawar, then the query gets accepted.
Yeah.
And that column will have the column name as Dilawar. When you write select star from V5, then you will get the column name as Dilawar.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it finds for the column name, whereas department number is already a recognized column.
For that, it does not need a column name. But this kind of calculated columns, should name it by the column alias. The column alias which you have used in the query will become the column heading of the view.
Yeah, correct.
Select star from V10. Jamal?
Yes.
V10 is a view. Okay? Jamal.
Okay, yes.
V10 is a view.
Yeah.
When you run this query, you are getting some columns: employee number, employee name, job, and all those.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes.
What is the base table behind the view?
Base table on the view. Just a minute.
V10 is the view. What is the table behind the view? Using which table we have created V10? When did you create V10? In the last session, not today. Yesterday we have created V10, V20, V30. V10 will contains department number 10 employees, V20 containing department number 20 employees, V30 is depending department number 30 employees, isn't it?
Okay, yes.
So what is the table behind the view?
You were asking which type of view, right?
Yes.
It's a simple view.
Because this view is created using only one table.
Yes.
What is the table name?
Table name, I think EMP. From here you can see if you.
How to know the table behind the view? That's my question, Jamal. So when you want to know the table behind the view, right click on that view name and press F4. F4 will give you the structure of the view. You can see the view is having set of columns. In the script tab, you can see the query which we have used for creating the view.
Okay, this is.
Got it? This is the query. This is the query which is used for creating the view. In the script tab, you can see the table is employee table. So whenever you want to check what is the table behind the view, click on that view name and press F4, the shortcut way, which will show you the structure of the view. Okay?
Okay.
Am I right?
Yes.
Select star from V1. V1 is having how many columns? 3 columns.
Yeah.
How to know the table behind the view? Press F4. In the
Press
script
F4.
tab, you can see the select statement. So this is having 3 columns. Okay? Now the view V1 is having 3 columns. I want to add the 4th column, employee name. I want to add a column in the view. The view is right now having 3 columns. I want to add the view. Whenever you want to add a column, which column you want to add? Employee name. So you need to use create or replace. Using create or replace clause, you can replace the definition of the view. Create or replace view. What is the name of the view you want to replace? The name of the view is v1 as select. Now write the new select statement. Employee number, employee job, salary. Job, salary. What is the new column you want? Employee name from the employee table. Please try to understand what I'm doing. I'm using you create or replace. Using create or replace, you can change the definition. Look at the output. The view has been created. So when you write select star from v1 now, are you able to get the new column? Yes. How did you add a column? By using create or replace. Can you remove the column? Yes, everything you can do it by using create or replace. Let's say I don't want job column now. I remove the job column and run the command one more time. And run the command one more time. The view has been created. Now when you write select star from v1, what happens? The job has been removed. Now you have employee name, salary and employee number. So you can, using create or replace, you can change the completely definition. You can add columns, you can remove the columns, you can add the where clause, whatever you want you can change by using create or replace. Okay, so using create or replace, you can change the definition of the view.
Okay, here you are creating a row based on the base table, right?
We are creating?
You are creating the rows based on the, sorry, the column based on the base table, right?
Yes, yes.
And if it is not there, it will not create, right?
Yeah, you get an error, obviously.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Here Dilavar using create or replace?
Yeah, this one, if you don't use the replace, then it will create if the view doesn't exist with the same name. Otherwise,
If you
will
don't use
overwrite.
replace, if you don't use replace, okay?
It
If
will
you just
override.
write create. When replace is called overriding.
It will override, yeah, when you use the replace.
If you don't use replace, then if you write just create view, v1 is already there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It will not existing.
Yeah.
Name is already used by an existing object. Already we have an object v1. So you should use create, or when you use or replace, then the view will be replaced.
Yeah. So it means this is the only way how I can update. I cannot use the
You can
direct
change
update.
it. Not update, alter. Generally in tables we use alter command to add a column, to drop a column.
Yeah.
So using
Okay.
alter command, we do it from the tables point of view. But if from the view point of view, you should not use alter command. You need to use a clause called create or replace when you want to replace a view. Okay.
Okay.
If you don't
Okay,
want,
fine.
you can drop the view. Drop view v1. The view will be dropped.
Okay. And suppose
view
if there
has
is
been
the columns which we have selected has some constraint, for example,
yes.
and using that constraint as a column, can we? I mean, when we want to drop that view, will it allow or?
No, constraints affect on data. It is not affecting on the view. Okay.
Okay.
Look here.
Fine.
Hello? Can you hear?
Student 5, is it already there? Okay. Now Dilavar, coming to your query, table student 5 having 3 columns and there is a primary key constraint applied.
Okay.
And I'm inserting 3 rows. I'm creating a view which is having 2 rows. Okay, 2 columns.
Okay.
Table created 3 rows and set view has been created. Select star from V6 will have how many columns? Only 2 columns from the base table. Now your doubt?
To drop that view.
To drop the view, you can drop it. Drop view V6. The view is dropped. Okay. The table remains as it is. When you drop a view, there will be no effect on the table. Table remains as it is. Only that logical definition has been removed.
Okay.
Got it? Okay.
Fine. Correct. Correct.
Yes. So a view is nothing but only viewing the data. Does view contain the data?
No.
Dilavar? No. View. Can we store the data in the view? No. When we store the data in the view, finally the data will be stored in the base table.
Yes.
When you write a select star from the view name, we get the data from the. So finally, data exists only in the base table. View does not contain data. View is only logical representation of data. Okay.
Yes. Correct.
So this is about views. Let's move to the next concept, that is indexes. Index is used to improve the performance of the select statement. Very important. Index will help in improving the performance of the select statement. Look at these 2 select statements. Compare these 2 select statements. Jamal, first select statement will give you all the rows, 14 rows.
Yes.
Second select statement will give you some 7 to 8 rows which are satisfying the condition. First select statement, all the rows, 14 rows. Second select statement is giving you only 11 rows. Which query will run faster, first query or second query?
First query.
Which query will run faster, first query or second query?
First query.
Dilavar?
Second one will be, because we have already filtered by giving the condition of greater than operator.
Okay, so
this will execute faster because the number of records are less.
First query will run faster because in the first query we are not writing a where clause. As we are not writing a where clause, so there is no extra burden for the Oracle engine. Whatever the data we have it in the server, the same data is displayed in the client machine. Okay, this is the database server and we have the employee table and this is the client machine. So in the first query, select star from EMP. So whatever the data is there, directly the data is pulled and displayed into the client machine. Whereas in the second query, as we write a where clause, it is an extra burden for the Oracle engine because it needs to compare each and every record. It will compare the first record. 800 greater than 1200 condition is false. 1600 greater than 1200 condition is true. Like this, it needs to perform comparisons. How many comparisons it needs to perform? 14 comparisons because you have 14 records. It will perform 14 comparisons. Finally, 11 comparisons are true. So these 11 rows are displayed. So second query will run slow and first query will run faster. Okay. But if you look at the second query, I said the second query will run slow, but practically look at the time taken to run the second query. It's fast, isn't it? The moment you press enter, the query is running fast. Here the query is running fast because there are only 14 records. If there are 14 million records, Jamal, if there are 14 million records, it needs to perform 14 million comparisons.
Yeah, right.
Definitely it will take long time because it needs to perform those many number of comparisons. So it will take long time. So the performance of the query will be reduced. So the performance of the queries are based on the number of rows present in the table. Dilawar, if the table is having 1000, 2000, 5000, 10,000, the performance by default it is fast.
Yeah.
When you will come across the performance problem, when the table is having millions of records, at that point of time, the select statements will run very, very slow because most of the select statements we write is based on where clause. We never want all the millions of rows. We want only the rows which are satisfying specific comparison, specific condition, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the performance will be reduced. So to overcome that kind of performance problem, we have a concept called index. When you create indexes, what happens? Even though there are millions of records, the performance will be very, very high. Okay?
Okay.
Types of indexes. Simple index, composite index. There are two types of indexes, simple index and composite index. First one, let's learn about simple index. When index is created, using one column, when index is created using one column, those kind of index are called as simple index. Exam syntax. So Dilawar,
Yeah.
I want to, assuming employee table is having millions of records, this query will run slow. I want to improve the performance of this query. If you want to improve the performance of this query, you need to create an index on which table?
On the base table.
What is the, so you want to, if you want to improve the performance of this query, you need to create index on which table? Obviously, the query is based on which table? Employee table. So you need to create index on employee table. In employee table, on which column you need to create index? Salary column, because in the where clause we are using salary column. So you need to create index on employee table on salary column so that this performance, this select statement will run very, very fast. So example, Dilawar, can you tell me the example? Create index. Index name can be anything.
Yeah.
Let's say for example, IDX1 is the name of the index. On which table I need to create index on?
EMP.
Employee table on which column?
Sal.
Index is created. When you create index, now when you write this select statement, now this select statement will run fast.
Okay.
But are you here, Jamal, you are unable to experience the difference of speed before index and after index because there are only 14 records.
Yeah, I understand. This is available in Microsoft Author.
Yes. So here, Jamal, so not Dilawar, here there is no performance difference because the table is only 14 rows. When there are 14 millions of rows, definitely the query, before index, if the query is taking 1 minute of time, after index it will take some 10 seconds or 15 seconds of time. So index helps in improving the performance of the query. More than 90% the performance can be increased by using the concept of index.
Index, yeah.
In this example, the name of the index is in IDX1. Index is created on which table? On employee table. On which column? Salary column. Okay.
Yeah.
That means if you have a big number of rows,
Yes.
In each column, you will create index, right?
Not all the columns.
Okay.
Not all the columns. Here,
Like say you
employee
name.
here frequently used columns.
Okay, employee and then salary.
Here employee table is having 8 columns. Should we create IDX1, IDX2, IDX3 on all the 8 indexes? No. We create indexes on only the columns which are frequently used in the where clause. Okay.
Okay.
So if the frequently used columns, on those columns we create index so that the queries will run very, very fast.
Can it be on multiple?
Yes, yes. That is called as composite index.
Acha, okay, okay.
Look here, Dilavar. Select star from EMP where job equal to clerk. If the employee table is having millions of records, this query performance will be very, very slow.
Correct.
Now, Dilavar, how to create index so that this query will run fast?
Yeah, create index
IDX2
IDX2 on EMP within bracket job.
Perfect. When you create index, so all the queries based on job column in the where clause, that will be running very, very fast.
Yeah.
And go to look at this, select star from employee table. In this employee table, if you want to check how many indexes are there, how many indexes are created on this employee table, right click, so we can press F4 to see the structure, F4, and can you see we have an indexes tab, Dilavar, and the indexes tab, you can see there are 2 indexes, one is IDX1, the other one is ID2, one index on salary column, one index on job column. So indexes are created on frequently used columns so that the perform queries on those tables will run very, very fast.
Sunil,
Yes.
if you are using SQL Plus, how you will identify the index's name?
Okay, if it is using SQL Plus, then you need to write a very big query to get the indexes, to know the indexes in SQL Star Plus. That is the reason we use Toad, very powerful environment, very easy environment. Here in Toad, just press F4, you can see happily what all the indexes are there. If it is in SQL Star Plus environment, you need to write select index name from user underscore indexes where table underscore name equal to, on which table you want to see the indexes, Jamal? You want to see the indexes on employee table?
Yeah.
Copy. Using, you need to write a query. Okay, there is IDX1 and ID2.
Okay, okay.
If it is in SQL Star Plus environment, you have to use some queries to know the indexes, but you don't need to worry about this because in the real time in the projects we always use Toad environment or SQL Developer environment. Happily press F4 to see the indexes information.
Yeah, better to go for Toad.
Yeah.
Easy life.
Okay. Dilavar, I want to improve the performance of this select statement. I want to improve the performance of this select statement. So in that case, you need to create indexes on how many columns?
One table, 2 columns.
One table, 2 columns. Those kind of indexes which are created on multiple columns are called as composite. Index created on one column are simple indexes. Okay.
Yeah.
Index created on multiple columns are called composite index. Okay.
Yeah.
Example: create index id x3 on employee table. Open the brackets. Not on one column, it's on two columns. Sal, comma
Job.
These kind of indexes helps in improving the performance of the select statement, which are having multiple conditions. One is sal and the other one is job. Okay, so indexes created on multiple columns are called as composite index. Okay, next I want to explain about unique index. There's one more type of index called as what is unique index. Let's try to understand. One minute, I'll just power on the laptop charger.
Okay.
Look here.
हाँ भाई कहाँ जा रहे हैं? हाँ निकल रहे हैं हाँ
Dilavar, have you seen Bahubali?
Bahubali. No.
Have you heard about that movie?
I heard about the turnover of it. Turnover itself was Bahubali kind of 1,000 crore.
Yeah. Telugu based movie.
Is it purely Telugu or just Malayali?
No, it's a Telugu based movie, dubbed in other languages like Hindi. In Hindi also got a good collection.
Acha. So first time to have any Telugu movie getting this kind of turnover.
Yeah. Yes.
First time. Usually it will be Rajnikant only.
Yeah. Now the records has been breaked.
Yeah, broken 300 times.
Okay.
For Rajnikant it used to be 300 crores. Now it is 1,000 crore. 3 times more.
Yes. Now it's Rajnikant's turn to prove his.
Yeah, now he'll be the CM of Tamil Nadu. That's it. That is what he will prove it.
Okay. What I'm doing here. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry. Marks is there.
The best thing in SQL Plus is you can run multiple insert commands at a time.
In Toad also we can run it.
All together, huh?
Yeah.
Achha. Because individually we selected the insert.
No. Look at this.
Okay, we will do it in Toad.
In Toad I'll do it. I'll show you.
Okay.
Step 1, I'm creating the table. or student 6 already there? Okay. Table created.
Okay, fine.
Now I will run 3 inserts commands at once using toad.
Okay.
Copy,
Yeah.
paste,
Yeah.
select all the 3 lines, and then run as script. Execute as script.
Ah, fine, fine.
Select the lines, okay, which you want to run, these 3 lines, execute as script.
Fine.
1 row created, 1 row created, 1 row created.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
But on our first class, I asked this. If it is possible.
Did I said no?
How do you say Dilo?
Huh?
I think you said no. I don't.
Okay. Now look here. I have created a table. Jamal.
Okay.
Inserted 3 rows. Obviously select star from student 6, you get 3 rows. Did I create index on this table?
Yeah. With index?
Did I create any index?
No.
I have not created any index. But press F4, go to indexes tab. Yes, there is an index which is created. Okay. So on which column index is created on? You can see S number column. So these indexes. Now I want to explain about unique index. Unique index is created automatically when it is created automatically when table is created with primary key constraint.
Okay.
With primary key or unique. So Jamal, when you create a table and when you apply primary key constraint or unique constraint on a particular column, automatically that index will be created on that column. Those kind of index which are created automatically are called as what indexes? Unique index. When this unique index is created, when you apply either a primary key constraint or a unique constraint. Dilavar, am I clear?
Yeah, so in our previous examples also, this unique index was there already. Huh?
In the previous example, in the employee table, there was no primary key.
Wherever we have defined a constraint, there this was already.
Yes, not check constraint or not null constraint, only for primary key constraint or unique constraint. Not for other constraints. There are 5 types of constraints. Foreign key is also there, check constraint is also there, not null is not. So for that constraints, index is not created. Index is created only for primary key or unique.
Okay.
So those kind of indexes are called as unique index. Okay. So practically, if you can see, so select star from FND user is a table name.
Okay.
Oracle applications table. This table have how many columns? You can see column numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Table is having 28 columns. But how many indexes are there?
Okay.
These are the indexes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now some 8 indexes. So indexes applied on regularly used columns, they will create the indexes which helps in improving the performance. Okay. This is about the concept of indexes. Next, let's move to the next concept. Sequences. You have time?
Yeah, fine.
Sequences. Sequence is used to generate numbers. Sequence is used to generate numbers. Okay. So whenever you want number generation, if you observe, Dilavar, when you're working with purchase order, when you enter the details and save it, purchase order number will be created automatically, or in the AR module, transaction number will be created automatically, isn't it? Wherever automatic number generations are happening, they use the concept of sequence. Sequence is used to generate numbers. Okay. Now, look at the requirement. I want to insert 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 records. Okay. And what values I want? Student number 101, 102, 103, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And observe, Jamal, these values are sequence numbers. They are in order, sequential order. So whenever you want the numbers to be in sequential order, don't hard code the numbers. Instead, what we do, we create a sequence. Look at this. Create sequence name. Start with value. Increment by value. Example. Jamal, you want to create a sequence starting with what value? 101. So start with 101 and you need to increment by 1. Create sequence. Any name, it can be any name. For example, the sequence name can be SEQ, any name. For example, SEQ 7 or any name. SEQ 7. Start with Dilavar. It should be starting with 101.
101, increment by 1. Increment by 1.
First step. You can first create the table, you can first create the sequence. There is no relation, independent, both are independent objects. Sequence created, name of the sequence is SEQ7. Next. Table created. Next. I don't want to write 101. Instead of 101, write your sequence name. What is the name of the sequence? SEQ7. Don't hard code. Do not hard code 101, 102 manually. As you have created a sequence, use the sequence in the insert command. And just not sequence, you should write sequence name dot next val. It's not just the sequence name, you should write sequence name dot next val. How many insert commands I'm writing? 10 insert commands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 insert commands. So when you write select star from student 7, you should get 10 records. So I have created a table already. Now I'm writing 10 insert commands. In all insert commands, I'm using my sequence. Did I hard code the values 101, 102? No, I have not written the values in the insert command. Instead of manually writing the values in the insert commands, what you do, create a sequence and use the sequence in the insert commands so that you get the sequential orders. For example, your bank account number in the banking application, when you open a new account, Jamal, you get an account number, isn't it? System will generate the account number. Agree? Isn't it?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let's say if in your organization, if a new employee joins in your organization, you will have a unique number, employee ID or employee number, that will be generated by the system. Agree? So those kind of number generations wherever is required. So in Oracle, we use the concept of sequence. Sequence.nextval is used to generate the number. Okay, select seq7.carval is a pseudo column. Nextval and carval are pseudo columns. From dual is the query to know the latest number generated.
Okay.
To know the latest number generated. So Jamal, what is the latest number generated? The latest number generated is 110. If you want to know it by using the query, use the pseudo column carval. Carval will show the current value. The current value is nothing but the latest value generated is 110. So nextval and carval are pseudo columns related.
So these are another two pseudo columns.
Yes. So, row num, row ID are pseudo columns related to table. Nextval and carval are special pseudo columns related to sequences. Nextval will generate the number.
Yeah.
Carval
current value
will show the current value or nothing but the latest value generated. Am I right? Perfect. Clear about the pseudo color sequence? Practically, we use sequence for generating the numbers. If you don't want the sequence, you can drop it whenever you don't want.
If we drop the sequence okay, it is meant only for the insertion of the values. That's
it. It will not disturb the existing data. Data is inserted permanently. That's it. Fine. When you don't want, you can drop it because it is an independent object, as I have told you, Dilavar.
Yeah.
Sequence will be dropped. Okay. If you want, you can again recreate.
Sorry. Yeah.
If you want, you can again recreate it. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you can alter it. For example, here the sequence is incrementing by 1. Let's say you want to increment by 5. Okay. Yes, by using alter, but practically we don't use it. We can increment by 5. Alter sequence name, increment by 5 or something like that. We can use it. We have syntax which helps in altering the sequence. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Clear. Jamal.
Yeah.
Yes, clear. If there is increment, there is decrement.
Yes. If you want to decrement, you should write increment by -1. If you write increment by -1, it is nothing but decrementing.
Okay, so the word increment you can change to decrement?
No.
Okay.
You should write increment by -1.
Okay.
When you write increment by -1, then it will decrement.
So it will be 101, 199. Will
yeah,
it be like
yes,
that?
yes. Shall we try?
Yeah. But if that is the case, then can we take infinity on the top and then make it -1 countdown?
Yeah, you can. No, man. No, if especially if let's say if you are decrement, you should start with one number. That one number you will have it on your mind, isn't it? So you need to design the sequence at the time of creating. Okay. Start with you need to provide one value. So practically there will be one value, isn't it? You start with. If it is incrementing, generally we start with 1 or whatever it is. If it is incrementing or decrementing, also we will provide one start with value. Okay.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Let us drop the table student. We already have dropped the sequence. Drop the table student. Now I recreate the sequence, incrementing, start with 100, 101, increment by -1. Jamal. Start with cannot be more than maximum value. Okay, okay.
You started from 10. Okay.
Start with cannot be more than maximum value.
Can we create a new one with start number something different?
Okay. Maximum value.
So starting with the 100. So table created. How many insert commands? Jamal, 10 insert commands. Hundred done 100, 99, 98. It is dropping. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you need to provide one maximum value. Maximum value 500 is nothing but the last number that will be generated is -500. Okay. So, and then the sequence will stop. So you should be some range. You need to provide some range when it is increment by when it is my negative number. So you should design the sequence and then accordingly use it as per the requirement. Okay.
Okay.
So sequence is used to generate numbers. The next object, synonyms. Very simple. Any idea, Dilavar?
Synonyms which has a similar names or like.
Jamal, what is your idea?
Maybe similar table.
Synonym is an alternate name given to an object. Generally, it is an alternate name given to a table. For example, index. Create synonym name for table. For example, we have created table student 7. Now, just now we have created table student 7. For this table, I want to create a synonym. Create synonym. STU7 is the synonym for student 7.
Okay. So it will have two names.
Synonym has been created. Now, if you want to see the data from the table, select star from, instead of table name, you can just write STU7. You will get the data.
Yes, yes.
So a table can be accessed by using the table name, or you can also have a shortcut name that is called as synonym. So practically where synonyms are used, generally if the table names are very long, for comfort sake, we create a synonym. So it's giving an extra name, additional name given to a table. Don't think that a copy of the table is created in a separate memory location and that is named with the synonym. No, that's not the case. Table can be referred by using the table name, or you can also use synonym. Not only for the select statement, you can write insert into synonym, update. You can, wherever you have the table name, instead of table name, we can use a synonym name.
So this is at the this is at the table level, whereas the alias, that is at the column level.
No, see, in the joins, you're talking about this one. From EMPE, E is called table alias. The difference here is table alias is temporary. If you write here select star from E, you will get. Do you get the data?
Yeah.
No, you will not get the data.
you will not get.
The
It is
table
just-
alias is temporary only for one query, whereas the synonym is permanent. Once you create it, you can use it now in the next session. Whenever you want, you can access the table by using synonym. So synonym table alias is temporary, whereas synonym is
Yeah.
permanent. Okay. So whenever you want, so where if you select star from student 7. If you want to know the synonym, is there any synonym for this table? Very simple, press F4. Synonyms tab, yes. There is a synonym STU7 which is created for the table student 7. You can also, every information you get it by using F4. So synonym is an additional name given to the table.
We can apply this DCL commands on this synonym using the synonyms. Sorry, this one, the DCL command, giving the grants on.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Wherever you use the table name, instead you can use the synonym. So synonym is very simple, having an additional name given to a table, and whenever you don't want this additional name, you can drop it. That additional name will be removed and then you should refer it by using the actual table name. Got it?
Okay, but if somewhere if I'm using in some joins like that, the synonym, and here I'm dropping it, that integration will be there?
No, it will not be there. The integration will be lost. So that is the reason for joins we always go for table aliases. Okay?
Fine.
Because you have created a synonym, but other developer don't know the name of the synonym, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's always so whenever you're writing joins, blindly go for table aliases. That's the industry standard. Synonym is just an alternate name given to a table. Okay. So with this, we have completed the objects of SQL. So what are the objects? The first object what we have learned is table. The first object what we have learned is table. Next object what we have learned is view is an object. Next we have learned about indexes. Next sequences. Next synonyms. So these are all the objects of SQL. You also have other objects, procedures, functions, packages, triggers. These are also called objects. These are all objects of PL/SQL. Procedures, functions, packages are objects of PL/SQL, which is the next part of extension of SQL. SQL is called PL/SQL. Okay.
Yeah.
With this, we have ended the SQL part. We have completed the SQL part. Now we should move to the next part, next half of Oracle database, that is about PL/SQL programming.
Yeah. This one.
That we'll discuss in the next session. Shall we end our today's session?
Yeah. And this one, this table captures some storage in the database.
Yes.
That being an object. Even the views and index, everything will have a storage.
See, view, does it have a data?
It doesn't have.
So only that view names are stored. Okay. Index will have storage. So index will improve the performance on a particular column. That column is stored in separate location. So it is having a storage, but we don't use those storage locations. Okay. It is used internally by Oracle Engine. Okay. Sequence. Sequence, that structure is defined. The number generation is stored, and we don't need to. There is no way to manually look at the sequence and look at all the numbers which are possible to generate. These are all internally automatically used objects. Okay. So we just write the queries, we use it, but it is how it internally uses. It is done by Oracle Engine automatically.
Okay, fine. So Sunil, this one, when you go back to the Toad, you have the desktop SQL, PL/SQL, XML is there, no? Desktop here.
Which one?
This one, how can I tell you? desktop SQL is there, where your IP address is there, na, below that there is a default. Below default there is SQL, SQL, PL SQL, XML. What is that environment?
If so, here by default, if it is SQL, your environment is comfortable for writing SQL queries. Okay. If you're writing a PL SQL program, then shift it to PL SQL and start writing PL SQL program. Declare a variable a number. So this environment is helpful for PL SQL programming. Okay.
Okay. So in
if you select a text, it is like a notepad file. Okay.
It doesn't execute.
It does not. If you want, you can execute it, but it more behaves like a notepad file. But we don't use all these. We most of the time go for SQL only. Coming to SQL, PL SQL programming, where we write programs in the notepad and then copy paste. For PL SQL, best environment is notepad. Okay.
Yeah.
XML, if you are writing an XML script, in that case we go for XML. In that case we go for XML environment if you're generating an XML file. But most of the time SQL, PL SQL only we use it, because as a database developers we go for SQL and PL SQL. Most of the time we go for SQL environment only.
But in SQL environment, can we run PL SQL query?
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. How to run PL SQL in the SQL environment, I'll show you when we're start writing PL SQL program.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Sunil.
So